Welcome to BTV. First up tonight, entirely powered by Ginni. Tonight she speaks with the founding members of the No Hate campaign who recently visited Melbourne.
This is Ginni Sarasvati on BTV, entirely powered by Ginni. It's my absolute honour to bring you these next guests. I've been following these boys in this campaign for about 5 years now, since its inception. Proposition 8, when it was passed in 2008, banned same-sex marriage, and then the No Hate campaign was born. Now, since then, this campaign has turned into an absolute worldwide phenomenon. People like Jane Lynch, the Kardashians, Ricky Martin, Mel B all have posed for it. And here with me now, live, are the boys from the No Hate campaign, the co-founders, Adam Bouska and Jeff Parshley. Hello, boys.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
It's been a while since I've seen you. Because last time we caught up, I was actually in LA in your first studio in North Hollywood. But since then, you guys have grown into this absolute global phenomenon. Tell me, what's it been like? It started out in your own living room with Jeff painting No Hate on his face and putting it on MySpace. Now it's like global with over 33,000 photos. What's it been like for you guys?
It's really been overwhelming just to see everyone get involved. I mean, in our first year, we maybe had 200-300 faces, but now we're proud to say we have over 30,000 people who support the No Hate campaign with over 50,000 photos. So it's extremely grown since its inception. Originally, when we started the No Hate campaign, we started it in direct response to the passage of Proposition 8, but it's really become the community's project as they've taken it on to be their own and really expanded it to really just share their own stories. I mean, it started in direct response to the passage of Proposition 8, which banned same-sex marriage, but it's grown to speak out to all forms of discrimination.
Well, like I said before, when I met you guys, you had a little studio in North Hollywood. Now you have like your own headquarters. You've upgraded twice. Now you're in, Burbank, California?
Yeah, we just opened our new headquarters over in Burbank. It's somewhere that we could actually invite the public to come and do the photo shoots at our headquarters. We have a room set up for we can create PSAs on the spot. We have a resource room, so it's just kind of growing into something more than we ever expected it would. 33,000
photos later, did you ever think, when after your initial people post, I remember when I first saw the campaign, it was people like Peter Page from Queer as Folk, Jay Rodriguez from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, like to get people like Jane Lynch, Paris Hilton, did you ever think that would ever happen?
It just goes to show that everyone has a reason to get involved, whether you're gay, straight, black or white, everyone has a reason to pose, and whether you're a celebrity or not, you have influence. And that's what really takes on to be the success behind the campaign, is that so many different individuals have come forth to share their stories and use these photos on social media to share the message.
So out of the 50 states in America, I believe you shot at 45. Are you targeting the other 5 to be doing a shoot at?
Yeah, we're actually scheduled to be in Kansas, which is one of the 5. So once we finish that shoot, we'll have been to 46.
Wow.
But, we're doing the best we can to get as many places as we possibly can. The No Hate campaign is a small crew of only 4 of us, Adam and I being 2 of them. So, we're just doing as much as we can, as often as we can.
And it's important for people to know that if they can't make it out to one of our photo shoots, that we do have an app on the iTunes store that's free for people to download and essentially take their own photo from anywhere in the world.
So you've been to Tel Aviv, you've been to Cape Town, you've been to Ireland, you're here in Australia, so welcome, first of all. So what's Australia been like for you? It's been a little bit crazy from the photos that I've seen.
It's been a great response for the campaign so far. In other countries, the No Hate campaign wasn't quite as known, but I feel like since the beginning of the campaign that the support coming out of Australia has always been very, very strong. So it's great to actually be able to come here and do something official here with the community here in Melbourne and in Sydney, and just to get the people involved, and hopefully, we can create some activists before we leave.
Now, speaking of your No Hate app, because there's so many people who want to participate in the campaign, obviously you guys can't get there. Is that why you created that app? Can you put the No Hate tattoo anywhere that you want?
Yeah, the No Hate app is for the iPhone, and it's connected to the camera, so you can take your photo and then you can drag the No Hate up over your cheek and put the tape on, and there's an option to upload it directly to the No Hate campaign website section, which is the My No Hate photo, which is submitted photos from all across the world.
Great. Well, you were targeting Kylie Minogue coming down here. The pop princess hasn't replied yet, but who knows? She might rock up on a Saturday. She might make a guest appearance because she's from Melbourne. Who else have you targeted here in Australia?
Well, right now, we heard Dolly Parton was in town. She's on tour, so we thought we'd put an ask out. She's a huge supporter of the community. But again, it's really important for the everyday person, individuals, to get involved, because there might be celebrities that come forth, but again, majority of this campaign is spearheaded by those individuals, and we really couldn't do it without them coming forward to support.
Well, you've got over 400 people RSVP'd to the Melbourne shoot. It's going to be set to be an awesome landmark event here for Melbourne as well, because Melbourne's really getting behind you boys. Is there any city in Australia you want to visit next time you're here, if you do get here next time?
I mean, it's just really important for us to get as many places as we can. We tried to make the most out of this trip by doing Sydney and Melbourne, so maybe next time we can do, a couple other cities. But, I mean, it's the same as the United States. The message of no hate is needed everywhere, and we intend to take it as many places as we can.
And maybe Brisbane, maybe Perth, who knows? We need to go all over Australia.
Your geography is very good, Adam, I have to say. So you boys have shot over 33,000 people. That's included Congress people, celebrities, members of the community. So that must have been quite a few shoots. Has anything interesting happened on the shoots that you could tell us about?
It's hard to narrow it down because the cool experience is being able to shoot such a diverse group of people. But it was a fun experience to go to the set of Glee to shoot Jane Lynch. When we got to go over to Fran Drescher's house to photograph her, or Larry King at his home as well. Each individual, again, brings something so different to it, so it's fun to kind of see what they have to bring.
So you photograph different people at different places. When you get Congress people involved in America, that's quite a big statement.
Yeah, I think it's important to show the community that the lawmakers and the people that are making the laws and passing the laws are people that are on our side, and we want to let people know of their stance of the matter of equality, so that we can keep people like that around, and hopefully they're helping us forward the marriage equality.
Absolutely. Like Adam was saying before, this campaign's grown into so much more than marriage equality. It's been anti-discrimination and against all hate, really. I mean, that's just phenomenal. It's just branched out that way. And like you said, it's attributed to the people who have posed for it. Going further, like when the No Hate campaign pretty much photographs every gay celebrity that you can get. Have you tried to get Ellen?
We've tried. If we put our asks out there, we would like to see Ellen, we'd like to see Barack Obama, we'd love to see Oprah, anyone with influence. We'd love to see spread the message of no hate. It's something that it's easy to support, easy to get behind, and it only takes a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, in Sydney, you photographed Clover Moore, which was a pretty good landmark. She's been a great supporter of the community, and also she's the Lord Mayor of Sydney. We're trying to get Robert Doyle down to the shoot, so that should be really interesting. You've had a lot of political support, I've seen, and you're releasing some photos on Valentine's Day, I believe, Jeff, of some Senate members?
Yeah, we're going to do, we did another trip to the Washington, D.C., to the Capitol Hill, and we got 5 new senators and a few new Congress members to post for the campaign, so we're going to release those on Valentine's Day. And I think that to add to what Adam said, that it's important to not only get, and like what you said, gay celebrities, we need straight celebrities, and we need people that are supportive of marriage equality that maybe aren't as vocal. People like when Cindy McCain did her photo, she's the wife of Senator John McCain, who's very much against marriage equality and was very much for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So when she spoke out and made her stance known that she was a supporter of marriage equality, I think it opened a lot of people's eyes in the Republican world to show that it's not a party issue, and it's something that something that anybody can support.
So the No Hate campaign is a campaign for everybody. It's open to all ages. If you can't get to any of their shoots, make sure you check out their app. You can download it on iTunes for free, and check out nohatecampaign.com. This has been Ginni on Bent TV, signing off.
The No Hate campaign, a brilliant initiative. See you after the break. Welcome back. Let's hear from people at Midsummer Carnival.
Hi, I'm Dave McManus from Team Melbourne and the Glamourhead Sharks, and welcome to the Midsummer Sports Day.
And I'm Lorraine Little from Team Melbourne and Melbourne Spikers.
So today is our 3rd Midsummer Sports Day, Team Melbourne Midsumma Sports Day. The 2nd year we're having it here at the City of Maribyrnong's Footscray Park. It's a fantastic venue. We've got quite a few sports on this morning and a couple this afternoon, so all the teams are out there at the moment. We've got tennis across the road, the Ace Girls and Vic Tennis. We've got the rugby Chargers behind us, as well as AFL Nines and the St Albans Spurs. The Argonauts got up early this morning. They're out on the Maribyrnong rowing. And we've also got the front runners who are having a coffee over there. They've just had done their 4, 6 and maybe 8 kilometre runs, different runs this morning.
They're out early just to beat the sun. It's going to be a hot day here in the afternoon, but there's a lot of hot people out here as well.
There are, yes, in skimpy outfits running around.
Yes.
The boys in their rugby shorts. guys and girls in their AFL outfits. So this afternoon's probably even going to get skimpier. We've got the glamour heads hitting the pool.
Oh yes, even less clothing.
Yes, the Masters swimming team there. We've also got the Melbourne Surge, so the gay and lesbian water polo team.
Who took out the
gold medal in Antwerp.
At the Art Games recently, so that's a fantastic outcome. And that's what Team Melbourne are really about, is encouraging people to come and try sports.
Ben Cranks is a bike club for gay and lesbian Melbourne, basically, and we usually go riding each weekend.
Just too much.
Hi there, we're Melbourne Frontrunners, Melbourne's premier LGBTI running and walking group. You're watching BTV.
Oh no, we went already. Where's it? We've already went already. We went to that one. Yes. Oh, difficult part. Yeah. Yes,
Hi, I'm TJ. I manage the Ace Girls tennis squad. We've been training in Melbourne for 11 years now, getting lesbian tennis players ready for competition and tournament action.
G'day, I'm Barry.
I'm Kate.
We're from the St Albans Football Club.
We play women's Aussie rules footy. Barry's our coach. We train twice a week, either here at Maribyrnong or at St Albans.
And we're starting up very soon, very excited.
Beautiful.
Hi, I'm Lorraine and I'm from Melbourne Spikers Volleyball Club. We're probably the longest serving gay and lesbian club in Melbourne, Victoria, the world. Been around 28, 30 years and I've been part of it that long. I know, who would figure that? Come and join us on Tuesday nights in Collingwood. We play every week. It's a great club to get involved with sport and get involved with your community, just like Bent TV.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go, guys.
Are we going once or twice?
Jog in. Twice. Yeah. Okay, go. Come on, back on even playing field. Go. Yes.
I can tell you now, the Chargers Rugby, they're a very strong club, and they'll get a big turnout, and they do it full on. Because on Carnival Day, they did a exhibition for us and so forth, so they were fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to this year the water polo and the swimmers, so they're getting a few. But to me, the surprise one, and the one that draws all the crowd are the dancing. The dance kids. Oh yeah, they get a huge crowd.
Hi, I'm Heath Wilson, President of the Melbourne Rovers Soccer Club here in Melbourne. Both men and women play in our teams. During the summer we have a mixed competition playing on a Wednesday night. We run social soccer, and also during the winter season we play in the Metro and state leagues for the men and women here in Victoria. So if you're wanting to play soccer or you've never played before, get along, check out our Facebook page or look us up on the web.
Hi, I'm Dane McManus from the Glamourhead Shark Swimming Squad. We're Melbourne's GLBTIQ swimming squad. We participate in masters swimming events locally and internationally, and we train at Wesley College on Tuesdays and Thursdays and the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre on Sunday afternoons. So check us out at www.glamourheads.org for more information. We'd love to see you. Your first session's free. Need to be able to swim at least 300 metres of freestyle in order to jump in with us, but come in, have a session, lots of fun, and we'd love to see you.
Oh! Turn over, blue. Turn over, red.
I'm Ben from the Melbourne Chargers.
I'm Eugene from Melbourne Chargers.
And Melbourne Chargers are the Melbourne Gay Inclusive Rugby team in Melbourne. We train 3 times a week at the moment, and this year we're training for the Bingham Cup, which is hosted in Sydney. I've never been
Hi, I'm Tim Hewitson from the Melbourne Argonauts Rowing Club. We're here for Midsummer Sports Day, and we're one of the world's only 3 GLBTI rowing clubs, and we're the only one in the Southern Hemisphere. Hope you're having a great day.
If you're listening to this interview now and you're not here, get onto Team Melbourne's website, find out about the plethora of sports clubs you can get involved with.
So www.teammelbourne.org.au, or come down.
Well,
depending on when this goes to air, but
come down next year.
Next year. So the Spikers are actually going to be playing volleyball this afternoon. The Dance Cats are dancing all day, so I think it's a dance-a-thon. So we've got a great day here and a barbecue lunch. So you've missed out this year, but next year it's going to be back bigger and better than ever. So come along, check out www.teammelbourne.org.au and find out what sports you can join throughout the year and play some, have some fun with the gay and lesbian sporting community of Melbourne.
And I'd also just like to thank and acknowledge the amazing support of Midsummer as a partner in delivering today, and of City of Maribyrnong as well, who've given us this venue and a lot of support as well.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Wasn't that fun? See you after the break. Welcome back. Next, spoken word artist John Stevens.
Good evening, welcome to BTV. I'm Steve Pereira, and on Quedia today, our show on culture and media, we're looking at spoken word artists, some of whom have performed at Midsummer. Today with us for the first time we have John Stevens. Welcome, John, to BTV.
Thanks, great to be here.
Now, John, you're a librarian?
Yes, I am. I'm a reference and research librarian, so I answer reference questions for people. I also do collection building work, a bit of cataloguing, a bit of sorting, that kind of stuff.
Falling to the stereotypes of librarians, you have a very deep...
We're very strange. Yes, no, my secret life, it's part of my secret is not a secret. Obviously, I'm an out transvestite. It's hard actually to be a transvestite and actually remain in the closet without it being quite literal. So everybody at work, everybody who comes into work knows that I am. Probably my secret is probably my interest in death metal and black metal and quite anti-social music. Death metal is, if you can imagine the usual kind of loud sort of like Black Sabbath kind of music that started off from there in the 60s, but this is something that's much faster, it's more guttural. If you imagine like the possessed child in Exorcist, that kind of vocals. Generally the lyrics are quite dark, generally quite violent, sometimes quite blasphemous as well, and there's a lot of things that got them into the genre into a lot of trouble in the 80s, particularly in the Bible Belt in America. There were a few law cases and stuff that happened around them, but yeah.
So is that the appeal, that it is transgressive? And
I find the transgressive aspect quite good. I like engaging with it as sort of a way of sorting through emotions and experiences that you wouldn't otherwise do, because it's quite in a fantasy realm. Some people within the genre are known for seeing it not as being a fantasy realm and taking things too far, but nowadays there's a lot of people who've thought about it, deconstructed it, and it's actually quite an interesting art form to explore these days.
So how does that inform your artwork? What do you take from that to inform the way that you...
I think in a way that I find my work to be quite direct and quite honest. I think it's being an out transvestite, you have to deal with a lot of anxiety and a lot of other people's aggression and misunderstanding and so forth. And so often some of the ways I do that, it's like I'm often listening to incredibly loud, aggressive music when I'm out in public. It helps me get through some times when I otherwise feel quite self-conscious. But it also, I find it quite empowering, as much as like with all these quite negative aspects to the music, I find I sort of getting the things that kind of make me feel a bit stronger out of it, and that helps me get through in situations when many years ago I just wouldn't have had the courage to do so.
Do you have to find yourself battling the stereotype about the angry transvestite? We all, in popular cinema medium, we've always got the angry, bitter And Silence of the Lambs is a classic case of that.
Well, no. I think that's more than just angry and bitter. That's the serial killer transvestite, and which is something that I do feel is still quite regularly out there, and also the transvestite who is played for laughs. Those are things, especially working in a very public role, I find presents a lot of problems. I'm really good at making eye contact with people, which is unfortunate because often the eyes tell so much, and I get really frustrated at constantly seeing these reactions with people. But the flip side of that is when I start to help people, I see that reaction change really quickly, and then after a while they realise they actually have to engage with me as a person. And so seeing how quickly people can nevertheless overcome these preconceptions about transvestites and so forth in public, because I consider myself to be, despite everything, quite approachable.
But the other curious thing about, when I asked you for your bio, you described yourself as being unfortunately heterosexual.
Yes. That was because many years ago I actually had to come out as being heterosexual, because believe it or not, in the late 90s in country Victoria, which is where I grew up, the goth and metalhead friends of mine, it was sort of a thing to be identified as bi, and so for a while I thought, well, I like wearing skirts and makeup, so I guess I must be bi, and so I adopted that identity for a while, and hooked up with a few guys and stuff, and was trying to convince myself for a very, very, very long time that I was, and then eventually had to go, no, actually I'm not, and it was actually a really depressing experience coming out because, for one, it was awkward. Some close friends just sort of laughed and said, "Oh, you're great, John. That's amazing." But in other situations, it was just, well, there's so much about the heterosexual community that's terrible, and I really didn't like wanting to suddenly have to discover this amazing, terrible legacy that has been, all the way through history as a result of all these negative aspects of dominant heterosexuality in our culture. And so having to realise oh God, this is me.
This is a piece that John's going to perform for us. It's about the terrible job he had before going to library school and discovering that he's quite outgoing.
A few weeks before finishing up my job in the babywear section of Myer, my manager was catching up with me to let me know how much of a disappointment I had been. My job apparently started promisingly enough 4 months earlier. I was, at first, enlisted to bring traumatised children down a dimly lit corridor decorated with styrofoam reindeer heads to a badly ventilated room, where they were then made to sit on the knee of a large stranger whose face was obscured by cushion stuffing, as the rest of their family laughed at all their attempts to escape to the relative safety of the Lego room. For some reason, I didn't take to this the way they had expected. When I mentioned to my manager that I was going back to uni to become a librarian, she said, "Good, working with people really isn't your thing." A few years on, I came to the conclusion that I'm an extrovert, fundamentally unhappy and full of anxieties and uncertainties about the future, but strangely happier around people. A third of my time at work is spent approaching people like a wide-eyed gopher saying, "Hi, can I help you?" with a frightening level of sincerity. Before I realised how addicted I was getting to customer service delivery, I used to joke with colleagues about how awful it would be if you left work with your information badge still on. Worse still, what if you couldn't remove it? You'd walk into public toilets with your eyes down, and after a while you'd just get used to saying, "Maybe they're in another toilet block," or "I don't know why it's red." I stopped joking about it around the time I realised, given a world of options on the streets of Melbourne, badge or not, I'm regularly one of the first folk people will approach if they need directions somewhere. And I'm not approachable, really. I'll be wearing sunglasses if there isn't a hint of vitamin D around me. My earbuds will regularly be full of carcass and disembowelment, and my off-day t-shirts are frequently violent and or satanic. But that just seems to make people more insistent, which is okay. I like it, really. I remember a couple of months back, I was taking the tram to the city early on a Friday afternoon to make some badges at Sticky. I hadn't pre-cut any of the designs, though, so I was scissoring them as quickly as I could. It's a long journey, but also a bit bumpy at times, so I had to pay attention. Somewhere going through North Fitzroy, an elderly couple sat next to me. One of them was trying to get my attention for a while, but for some reason, I wasn't in the mood. Eventually, though, I paused, took my buds out, and did the gopher thing. "You must have really steady hands," she said, grinning widely. I laughed. "Not really. Oh, I could never do that, she insisted. I paused. Well, I've done a lot of cutting in my time.
Thank you. That was John Stevens reading from us from an extract from his performance space. You've been on Quedia. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time.
That's our show for tonight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, or visit our website. See you next week. Good night.